Hello and welcome everyone to our 35th session of Hello Casa. My name is Michael and today I'll be talking to Marciano Birjmohun. I hope I pronounced it correctly, from
That's
Bangkok
correct.
in
Yeah.
Thailand. Marciano is already living in Thailand, has been living in Thailand for 8 years now, is originally from the Netherlands and is managing director of DMRD, a real estate consultancy located in Bangkok in Thailand. Marciano, welcome to the show. I'm super excited to have you as a first person from Asia and also from Thailand on Hello Casa. Why don't you introduce yourself to our show, to our guest, sorry.
Th- Thank you very much, Michael, and thank you for this opportunity with Hello Casa. Yeah, so I'm Marciano. I'm based in Bangkok, Thailand. I'm here for almost 8 years. I'm originally from Amsterdam, the Netherlands, and in the past years I have been in an executive position for several real estate firms in Thailand. And recently I opened my own real estate consultancy, DMRD, and we try to emphasize on international project marketing, whereby we offer developers a global platform for sales and marketing. And I think Thailand is definitely a market that needs to be nurtured, and it's an emerging market. It has a lot of future ahead. If you compare it with other markets in Southeast Asia, the prices are very reasonable, and that gives it an attractive inbound of investors. I'm happy to be here. It's now rainy season in Bangkok, but despite that, business is going well.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about your journey. How did you end up in Bangkok from the Netherlands, and what made you also move originally?
Yeah, so in the Netherlands, I was in healthcare, and there I was part of a healthcare management in the Netherlands. And my last position, I was managing coordinator for a medical facility. And we're trying to merge with an hospital, so I become part of a merger committee. And after the merger took place, I felt for myself like uh, I think I achieved quite a lot, and it's time now to enter another destination. And I knew Thailand from my holidays, and I decided to take the step and come to Asia indefinitely, because what I see coming to Asia on a holiday and looking towards Europe, Europe doesn't have capitalism. Europe is not an emerging market. Asia is definitely the place to be. Everything is booming. You know, in the Netherlands, it's very normal. After 6 p.m., many of the stores are closed. Everybody's sitting in their home, having dinner, and the economy goes on at 9 a.m. in the morning. But in Asia, the economy goes on and on and on. Most of the stores are open till midnight, and we're talking about 7 days a week. And it's just not only in Thailand, but also surrounding neighboring countries. Therefore, it's very thriving. You know, it's always something to do. So I decided to come to Bangkok. In the beginning, 8 years ago, the real estate market was still on a low pace. The speed really picked up six years ago. Really, real estate boom. Before I started doing international project marketing, sales and marketing for developers, I was part of a financial institute, a very famous financial institute in Bangkok. And I was providing mortgages and loans and equity release for people that want to purchase real estate in Thailand. And I did it both for locals and foreigners. And through this engine, I became well connected with developers, with agents, and of course, a global platform of buyers that needed a loan to purchase a house in Thailand. And from there on, I joined one of Thailand's largest Chinese real estate companies. I became the head of sale global, although I don't speak Chinese. And during that period, these Chinese were very visionary, and they still are. They entered the market, and they were one of the first that did bulk sales to China mainland. And we're talking about 3 to 4 years ago. And these units are significant. We're talking about 1,500 units on an annual basis.
Wow.
You can imagine that every unit price is, of course, very diverse. We don't $100,000 up to 150,000 US dollar.
Yeah.
But if you do 1,000 units on an annual basis,
Yeah.
that's significant. So these Chinese were able to do something that the global real estate firms here could not do. We have the, if I may use the brand, the Jones Lang, the CBRE, the Knight Frank. With all their 400 offices across the globe, they still could not sell Thailand property to the Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was that the developers would work more with the smaller established agents who could speak Chinese, who could speak English, who could speak any other foreign language. And this was missing, and I think it's still missing. Many of the Thailand developers have a great in-house team, a very effective local sales force, but they cannot still reach the international markets. It has to do with the language barrier. It has to do with cross-cultural communication. It has to do with international approach, understanding the behavior of other cultures and buyers. So yeah, DMRD launched off by continuing what I did best, and that is international project marketing, bringing Thailand developers overseas. After the Chinese, I was headhunted by Knight Frank Thailand for doing international project marketing. So I set up the business unit for them. And it went very well again. You know, there was a demand from developers to go overseas, and we did close to 500 units annually, which is significant. And after that, I decided, you know what, being headhunted now twice for other companies, it's time that I move on my own. Yeah. Because in the real estate business it's all personal relations. There is a human side to real estate business. So the goodwill I gathered over the years, the network I gathered over the years, the customers still contact me, even though I don't work for the other companies anymore. The media still contacts me. The developers still want to work with me. So I decided that maybe this is the time, after gaining a real credibility, trust in the market, not only in Thailand, across Asia Pacific, I opened my company. During all these periods, I was asked to be one of the judges for the Asia Property Awards on the Property Guru Singapore, and I'm now already in my fourth year on the judge panel. Now I'm very honored to be in this position, because if you look at the panel of judges, every judge has a different profession. So there are architects, lawyers, marketing, designers, and I'm one of the only one that is really in sales and marketing. So there's no conflict of interest. There is no bias. And what I do with the Asia Property Awards is we meet developers and we look how well are they performing, quality-wise, sales-wise, marketing-wise, price-wise. We look at every aspect of the condominium. Is it worth the money? What is their track record? Do they deliver what they promise? This is also very important. And through this network, I have met literally hundreds and hundreds of other developers across Asia Pacific, from Macau to Malaysia, Myanmar, Vietnam. So it's a nice network to be in, and you will see the people that stay the most honest, they survive.
Okay, that was or that's one point I'm seeing your career and seeing your high positions, and you know I think you are right now making a huge, like a very steep career, and have been making. What do you think is the success factors for you as a foreigner, which normally is a liability when you go abroad? how come you have been so successful?
I think the success is based on keeping personal relations steady over the years, nurturing relations. And of course, I took my business ethics from the Netherlands, being diligent, being punctual, being fast with communication, apply real business ethics, respect people, treat people the way you want to be treated. Be honest, even if the message is not in your favor, but try to stay honest. And this has created a real network. For example, I launched a new project in Bangkok last month, and I invited many of my colleagues from the industry to come and take a look at the launch of the project. And it was full house. There were like 100 people that walked in and just listened to what I had to say. So people know also now that if I come with a product in the market, it must be good after all these years, because I apply due diligence. I cannot be associated with a product that doesn't have finance, bad construction, a developer that doesn't deliver what they promise. It will, your positioning and your credibility is very important to grow. And I've always been very honest towards the developers. I speak very frankly, even if they don't want to hear. I understand there is a gap in the culture. In Thailand, they say you need to greng chai. You need to take them in consideration. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
And I do that, but I stay honest. If there is something wrong in the planning or something wrong in what you explain, I will tell you straight, sorry, you're wrong. You have to change it. And that is a winning point, because some others will just accept the wrong words and just move on.
Yeah. You're mentioning the construction companies and the developers as one of the main stakeholders. What for other stakeholders are you interacting with globally and also locally?
Other than I have really a worldwide network of colleague agents, from South Africa to Manchester to Macau to Hong Kong. So what I also do is, when I start international project marketing, I reach out to my network on a global scale. And I know from these agents that they have experience in selling Thailand real estate. So I approached them and said, listen, I am now with the developer on an exclusive basis, or I represent the developer for a short period of time. Would you like to come on board? So this is something which will benefit the market, because any developer, their marketing goes only to a certain extent. So you need to apply both offline and online tools to reach more. So this makes me different. I also talk with construction companies. The construction companies, and the reason why I do that is because I see a change in the quality of buildings in Thailand. They become aware about sustainability and well certified buildings, because there is also a shift of construction companies. Many of the developers try to manage their budgets for construction, where they assign maybe foreign construction companies, not Thai-based, Chinese-based, or what it may be. It has on the grading of the condominiums.
Okay, interesting.
So talk developers, because there is a new trend. They call it the prefabric construction. They just put it in as a Lego complex. In these days, I want a house here on the outskirts of Bangkok with built. So it's quite nice coming in the market.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about Bangkok as a city, how it is to live in Bangkok, and also your office right now you're sitting in.
Yeah. So I can say, the sky. When I came to Bangkok, I remember 2000, 2011. The last stop on the more famous Sukhum line, the sky train was Onut. Onut was one of the last stops on the train, and the sky train has been extended now from city to city fringe to suburban to even going into another province now. So what I do, infrastructure, it's always expanding. And back then we had two train lines. Now we have like 4, and in the coming years we will have 6. It's really mapping out throughout the province and reaching out to other neighborhoods. What changed in Bangkok? In the beginning, Bangkok has always been a city value for money. I must say, in the city center.
Okay, great. What about the cultural differences living in Thailand? I mean, you are from the Netherlands. Do you, for example, speak the languages? Also, what are the biggest challenges for you living in Thailand as a foreigner?
So I think, coming here in the beginning, not everybody spoke English. Right? So in the CBD, yes, and it's very important that you apply a dialect slang that they understand, because I see it often with my colleagues who come from Ireland or someplace in the UK, and their English is, the locals can't understand what they say.
Yes.
I think it's good that you know some words in Thai. It's nice as an icebreaker. They like it. It's good to have a little bit conversation here and there. Yes, language is okay, but if you look at the business ethics, it's quite different from the Netherlands. Everything inside the office culture in Thailand, it seems to be a little bit slower. There is less deadlines. Punctuality could be enhanced, and also I think can I say it politely? Logic, lean management. Let me emphasize on lean management. I see often now in the past 8 years that many of the processes internally with developers or agents or whatever is just unnecessary paperwork involved, which makes the communication line longer, but it makes also the overall experience unpleasant as partners, as collaborators, as clients. So I think lean management is something that has to be applied on all levels. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's super interesting to hear you talking about like the cultural differences, and you have like on the one hand, yes, you have like those ethics standards from Europe, but you don't want to impose them to others. So you really have to make sure that you are as adapted as possible to the local culture in order to obviously still show the respect to the local society, and
Absolutely.
also make sure that people still want to work with you, because otherwise no one wants to work with you anyway. You are now I mean, you just mentioned also the situation in Thailand, working in Thailand. Tell us a little about those your office and also the location you're right now in, like a little bit about the infrastructure and the commuting.
I think what we see now more often is co-working spaces. I myself am in a co-working space, and the co-working industry have in the past 2 to 3 years has really made a significant improvement. We have now almost 70 or 80 co-workspaces only in Bangkok City. And they range really from boutique till 1,000 square meter co-working spaces. And this is also not only for startups or SMEs, but we also have established companies, operations that use a larger space in the co-working space.
Mm-hmm.
And these co-working spaces are mostly very, very prime areas near mass transit or near the main road where you have to be. Easy for customers to visit, easy to commute if you have meetings. So I myself chose for a co-working space. I have a dedicated office. You can see behind. I have a real office. This is really operations. Customers can meet me here in the lobby, where we have a really spacious 100 to 200 square meter sofas, and it's very, very nice. And I think this trend will go on for a while. More people, and it's flexible, because if I expand my operations, a back-end admin, I just choose one of the other units in the back, so I can grow.
Sure.
That makes it very, very easy, and there's a low investment. I mean, you buy my furniture and my equipment, and that's it. I don't have to decorate it. I don't have to invest in a bare shell office space, because most of the offices, if you look at the office towers in Bangkok, they come bare shell. So you have to put your own air conditioning. You have to put your own tiles. You have to paint the walls. You have to do literally everything.
Okay. How's Bangkok distributed, like neighborhood-wise? Is it something you can, give us a glance maybe on? Okay, what are the upcoming neighborhoods? What are neighborhoods which are right now already like too much appreciated? Where do you see some room for investment?
So when we talk about CBDs, city business districts, actually Bangkok has several. So the first central business district, the real business district of Bangkok, was Sathorn. Sathorn was the first one, and still today the majority of the multinationals are present in Sathorn district. That's a little bit near the riverside. And then Sukhumvit Road, which is the most popular road in the Kingdom of Thailand, and I think the most recognizable road for all tourists that visit Thailand. That has become the second CBD, city business district.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more office buildings have been built here. And then now they're talking about the new CBD, which is Rama 9. They call it Rama 9.
Mm-hmm.
It's located not far from the Bangkok is quite well connected. All the neighborhoods and places. It's not far from Sukhumvit, and what you see there is significant influx of new office space. We're talking about 1 million square meters of office space that is being added to the district, because there is a demand. Office space is quite, I would say, affordable.
Mm-hmm.
Really affordable.
Mm-hmm.
You can start here for $25 to $30 a square meter rent.
Wow.
This is really, and still, of course, the prices can maybe double if you have a grade A office. And this is something Bangkok is now working towards. We have the one Bangkok development, which is like the one Singapore, the one Manila. We now get the one Bangkok, which will have only grade A Bangkok office space. It has the Ritz-Carlton. So this will complete it, I think, in the coming 2 years. It will bring an additional quality level of office space to the community. The districts are well connected, but the districts that have the majority of the, let's say, expat population that lives, they're all connected to the mass transit lines. So you don't see often expats living in an area where there is no good connection for mass transit. Um, what can I say? The residential developments, I would say, on the east side of Bangkok, near the airport, now, it's quite booming nowadays, and these apartments are quite affordable. Those go for less than 100,000 US dollar.
Mm-hmm.
But the challenge is that there is not direct link to mass transit lines, and that is one reason why the prices are low, because there's nothing significant there yet. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of industrial, there's a lot of shopping mall, but you need your own transportation. And if you look at areas like Ramanai, where the new CBD, where there are a lot of office space, the whole area is now populated by new condominium developers, because they know that people that work there would like to have housing as well. Mm-hmm. So in that case, it's quite much. They try to, match the demand. The many foreigners nowadays, and even the newspapers talk about, is there an oversupply in Bangkok? Well, you cannot generalize Bangkok city with oversupply. The oversupply is clustered in different neighborhoods, and that is true. So some neighborhoods have really overdone it. The developers have been following other developers, blind horse. You build there, I build there, and if they build there, the others build there. Mm-hmm. You get on an annual basis, you get 10 to 20,000 units. Yeah. In 1 kilometer radius. That is just too much.
With more or less the same price point. Yeah.
So that is correct. Mm-hmm. Same price point, same unit sizes. And the other question I always get from my investors in Hong Kong and Singapore is, why do they always build one bedroom? Well, it's very simple, because initially the developer has to cater to the local audience, and they know if they build a unit larger, the local cannot absorb the price point. Mm-hmm. So they have to build something that is within the budget of the local population, the majority of the local population. That's why the majority of the units are 1 bedroom and not 2 bedroom.
Interesting.
From the new supply. And if you look at what foreigners are buying, diverse. I mean, if you look at the mainland Chinese, they have their budgets, 100,000, 120,000 US dollar. They try to, affordable second home or rental investment. But, living in a 1 bedroom in Bangkok, if you're a single, it's fine, because Bangkok is so dynamic. You're not going to sit in your house the whole day. You will be outside most of the day.
Because that was what I was about to ask. Like, okay, price point is one decision point, but the other point is, okay, obviously it also has to fit my lifestyle. If I have a family with 3 children, I simply cannot go for 1 bedroom. So how does that work?
So if you look at family, they mostly are on the outskirts of Bangkok. Okay. What you see is now that housing developments, like a 3 bedroom, 2 floor, 3 bathroom, are the same price of a 1 bedroom unit in the city center. Okay. So people go to the outskirts and buy 150 square meter 3 bedroom with a garden for the same price. Yeah. However, you need your own transportation to come to the outskirts. Yeah. So that is one thing. But as a family, you have no other choice. You want to offer your not only your partner, but your children some space to breathe, some space to run around, because in the city center it's so much different than Germany and the Netherlands. In Germany and Netherlands, we play outside. We can run around and we play football on the streets, and there are fields and parks. But here in Bangkok, that is something really less. You cannot play outside. Mm-hmm. It's a real metropolitan area. What I hope that can change is that the household debt of the local population has gone up significant. So the reason given is that they like trends, and they like new things. So if you look at the mobile phones that are coming in the market, everybody needs to have a new mobile phone. But the mobile phone you're buying is either 1 month salary or 2 months salary for a local. So you're going into a debt, because losing 1 month or 2 months salary for one phone is a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, and this happens, I mean, every generation. Thailand, they say, is the most active population on Facebook, I believe, worldwide. So everybody has a mobile, every generation, and they want the latest of the latest. So they go into debt. If you also see with cars, you know, the price of a car in Bangkok is higher. I mean, in Germany, you can buy a Mercedes-Benz for 30,000 euro, 25,000 euro. But in Thailand, that's double the price. You know, there's import tax, there's whatever. So, but people still buy it. It's also a little bit, I want to be seen, you know, that's part of the game here. You see more brands coming in, you know, luxury brands. They are quite performing well, but majority of us, even expats and locals, we buy brands on holiday, because the luxury goods here, they have a high taxation rate.
Yeah.
So people that come to Thailand, they rather buy something nice at the market or something local, but they don't go for the global brands.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Going a little bit from the society to also a little bit, like, you know, the political situation and the political landscape in Thailand. Give us an overview of I think recently there was an election. Give us an overview of the political state right now in Thailand.
So I experienced the military coup in 2014. Initially, I remember the day as yesterday, because we were outside, and suddenly the emergency broadcasting was on the radio, and we saw everything was closed. It was 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and I was walking in the CBD, and everything was closed suddenly. All the deli, supermarkets, restaurants, bars, hotels, everything was closed. And everybody was told to go home and stay home. And so the emergency broadcasting went out. And after that, you know, the coup was in place. What happened after that is the confidence that the foreigners had in the real estate sector dropped significantly in 2014. It was a real impact. Many businesses also just lost. They could not survive having no customers for 6 months or 12 months. And the reason why it took so long is because from a foreign perspective, you don't know what will be the consequence of the military coup. What more will be happen? Is it just a change of power and we move on, or will there be some action on the streets like we saw in 2010? So after 2014, luckily, you know, Thailand has never give up on the infrastructure development, never ever, regardless what happens. So the infrastructure was still going on: mass transit, new harbors, new ports, new sky highways, new sky trains. And after the military coup, actually, the real estate boom happened. The boom. I mean, developers started to build like crazy, and they sold well. Now, as of now, I think yesterday the prime minister was installed, and it is the same prime minister that we had in the previous term. Stability-wise, you know, Thailand is still thriving. Foreign direct investment comes in. People buy real estate. Overall, it is very safe. I need to tell you also something about the safety of the kingdom. Growing up in Amsterdam and knowing Berlin, and Hamburg, and Lyon, and Marseille, these are very dangerous cities at night. You know, you don't walk at 1 a.m. just in Lyon or Amsterdam. You know, you can get in trouble. But in Bangkok City, it doesn't matter 1 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., any day of nothing happens. It's one of the safest cities I've lived in my life. Absolutely.
Great to know.
And I think all locals and all expats share this sentiment with me. It is there's a lot of freedom of speech if it comes to doing what you like to do.
Yeah.
The political situation, where will it go now? I think luckily people know the prime minister that we have now. We know them already for 4 years. So we know what to expect. The behavior, the way of dealing. And in the past 4 years, business has been good. Real estate has been good. So we continue as usual because we know who is in power.
Yeah.
We know there will not be significant change.
Yeah.
Which can be a good thing. So from a foreign perspective, I think everything is acceptable.
Yeah.
You know, the locals will have a different opinion because they feel it really in their heart. You know, this is their country, and you know they have a different political view. And I don't get mixed in that.
Yeah.
But from foreign investment side, I see it going on for many more years.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's why I'm here also.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes simple stability is a very strong economic driver. Knowing what to expect within the next couple of years is sometimes super powerful. Coming back a little bit to real estate. Why don't you guide us through the buying process? Let's say if I want to buy, first of all, can I buy as a foreigner, or do I have to have an intermediary? And then also, if I can buy, how is the process?
So there is a condominium act, and that says that 49% of a condominium complex can be owned by a foreign entity. So every condominium complex in Thailand, 49% can be sold to a foreigner. So yes, and you will get the freehold strata title. So it's freehold in your name. You can put multiple names on it, but you are the owner of the property. So that is one good thing. The beautiful thing about Thailand in buying it is the taxes are ridiculously low. I think one of the lowest. I think Vietnam has the lowest, but Thailand number 2. Talking about if you buy a new condominium complex, I think some developers even waive it, but in general, it's only 1% transfer fee at the land department. 1% only.
Wow.
And you know, some developers now, because 2019 is a different situation, quite a downturn, but some developers are now waiving that. You just only pay whatever purchase price is on the condo. That's what you pay and nothing else. So it's really good if it comes to buying property. Now, selling property, there are few different taxes applicable. So you have the transfer fee, which is normally 2%. You have a specific business tax, which is 3.3%. And then you have a stamp duty. And stamp duty is very low. We're talking about 0.5%. So in general, you know, if you sell your property, between 5 and 6% you pay on applicable taxes. But the land department does not give the mandatory option to the seller or buyer. So what you can do, if you negotiate, you can split the cost between the seller and buyer.
Okay.
So it's just the deal that you have to make. As long as the fees are getting paid at the land department, it's a done deal.
Yeah.
So that's also very good. It's the same thing what developers now do with new properties, right? Initially, there is, you know, it's a 2% and you pay 1%, and some developers waive the percentage. They will absorb it. So yeah, I think it's tax-wise, it's very reasonable.
Yeah.
Very reasonable.
Yeah. Okay. You also mentioned before our call a little bit about a phenomenon which is going on along the underwriting process.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on there.
Okay. So what many people are not aware of is that what I mentioned in the beginning of this interview is that many Thai developers can sell to the locals, but they don't have the competency or the staff to sell to international markets. So this is what happened is that international agencies, foreign entities, come in the market and say, listen, I am able to sell your 49% foreign quota, but in order to do that, I have a high marketing expenditure because my marketing expenditure in Hong Kong, Singapore is higher than Thailand, which is true. So they say, listen, the commission that you offer here will not be sufficient to cover those costs. I am willing to pay the booking fee for 49% of the units upfront. You give me the bottom price and allow me to sell at a higher price to compensate my marketing expenditure overseas. So most developers have agreed to this. That means that the Thai price and the foreign price has a discrepancy.
Yeah.
Now, is it fair? It depends with which agent and developer you're working with. The key factor why developers do this is because they don't have any expenses anymore. They can keep their marketing budget for themselves and just outsource the foreign quota to a international agency. This has been going on now for 6 years. And I think Thailand is one of the countries where it happens the most. The commissions are quite steep for these international agencies that underwrite a project. We're talking about 12%.
Wow.
They take 12% easily. So it became a very lucrative business. And because you get such high commissions, you can build a vertical line of agents.
Yeah.
You can have subsidiaries and subs, and and this person gets 6% and they get 4%, and it goes on and on and on. I am not a fond of underwriting at this moment. Underwriting is not wrong, by the way, if you handle it correct, but at current stage, it has actually been done because the Thai developers believe that mainland China will be the largest portion of buyers. And in able to sell in China, the majority of the agents will ask a double-digit commission. So that was actually the trigger to all these underwriting processes. Would I do it? Would I collaborate with someone today? You don't have to underwrite the whole 49% of a building. I think if the developer comes with a real good marketing and sales strategy, I think it still will work. Yes, you have to compensate the agents, but if your product is good enough, you will win anyway. And I have a case study, for example. We sold over 350 units in a building on the outskirts of Bangkok. The commission rate was very, very reasonable. Only 6%. 6%. No underwriting, no whatever. But it's all about the bargaining. Because what we did is, we asked the developer, the normal commission rate was only 3%, but we knew that the Chinese will not accept 3% commission to sell. So we needed 6%. So we made a deal that don't sell 49% of the quota, just give me 20%. And allow that 20% to give a higher commission. Once that is sold out, you just go back to your 3%, but at least you have already a significant absorption.
Yeah.
Don't be greedy for the 49%. Accept 20% and then move on, and we take it from there. Because the good thing is, when other foreigners see, hey, wait a minute, 20% sold already to foreigners, this project must be good.
Yeah.
They will buy it anyway.
Yeah.
You don't need the 6% anyway. So now this underwriting goes on every day, and there are dozens of developers that are in it. Now, unfortunately, market has changed in a bad way. So developers are aware that these international agencies have the ability to sell. So when the agencies go to developer and say, hey, listen, can you give me 3,000 baht a square meter for the condo, bottom price? And then I make my margin and I sell. And what the developer now says, listen, I know that you can sell. I'm going to give you 3,500 a square meter. So the developer is pushing the bottom price up themselves.
Yeah.
Which this is what disrupted the market. It's not the international agencies that came in.
And
it's greed of developers that pushed the bottom up.
Do you think there's a cap necessary in order to make it or to keep it accessible for the local society? I mean, this might have been a huge negative impact on housing prices as well as
Absolutely.
the housing problems which now is becoming global. Yeah.
So the locals always get a good price. I mean, developers are well aware. They get the promotions. They need stimulants to buy it. Only the thing is the developers don't work enough with the local banks to accommodate them. In Malaysia, for example, prior for me doing a booking on a unit, the bank can already screen me and say, hey, you're applicable. You can apply for a loan and you will get it for this project. But in Thailand, the loan process starts once the unit is already ready to move in. So it's the opposite side. And more often you see once the unit is ready to move in, the bank is going to tell me I'm not liable to get a loan.
Yeah.
I've already put the down payment down. I didn't know. So yeah.
Okay. Why do you think that is? Is that just
that is just the way the process works here. And I have spoken with some developers and I asked them, can you not turn it around? Can banks not do a pre-finance screening prior to letting people pay a down payment? But many banks don't, because I don't know. It's from the financial side. Maybe they know that there is a liability. What if there is a change of job? What if there is a delay in the construction, or something happens with the prices, or whatever?
How accessible are financial institutions for foreigners if they want to buy, let's say, getting a mortgage and stuff? Is there any way to obtain a local mortgage, or do I still have to go to my domestic financial institution?
I would advise foreigners to look at the local financial institution to get a loan, because the interest rates in Thailand are very high. The minimum lending rate is 6.7%, which is very high.
Yeah.
That is triple Europe, I believe.
Yeah.
Now, which is very okay. Thailand is very okay if you compare it to Myanmar, which is 12%.
Yeah. Okay.
So no, not many banks will offer a mortgage to foreigners. They will offer it if you have a work permit, you're a long time here, you're a taxpayer, you have a real company. Yes, it will be more lenient.
Yeah.
There are non-financial institutes that offer loans to foreigners. Non-financial means they are not a bank, but their interest rate are 8 to 9%, which doesn't make sense anymore to buy a project. And yes, occasionally we have some foreign banks here, like the UOB Bank or ICBC Bank from China, who is willing to look case to case to offer a mortgage. In general, also the locals have a hard time getting approval. So if you get approved as foreigner, please be aware that you will get only 50% of the value. not higher than that.
Okay.
And the good thing is, I work also in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
There is a Thai bank actually in Hong Kong, Kasikorn, and they provide mortgages to Hong Kong buyers. So every Hong Kong national that buys a project in Thailand will get the loan from their local home country, but it's given out in Hong Kong dollar, but it is a Thai bank.
Okay.
That is very, very good. And I have only seen it in Hong Kong. I have tried to communicate with some banks in Singapore. Not many do that. The Bank Singapore offer their Singaporeans equity release, right? The equity release. So you release equity from your existing property and then you merge it overseas, like the US is doing. But yeah, that is the only bank I know of.
Okay. I mean, it's super interesting what you have been talking about. I think we could talk for hours concerning Bangkok, concerning real estate in Bangkok. It's a humongous topic, and it's vast.
Yes, it is.
Only
Yes.
I think only the buying process we could talk about, taxes and stuff. It's been an incredible conversation with you concerning the entire snapshot on real estate in Bangkok. I think it's super interesting also to know exactly like where the market is moving, the obstacles, the challenges, and also it is quite accessible for foreigners to invest, but also for other real estate agents from around the world to contact you to say, hey, there's a new development going on, there's a new project going on, so you can contact, they can contact you. So concerning maybe one example as a listing you have, maybe in US dollars or in euros, out of your head, is there something you can talk about? You can say, okay, this is something which is very representative for the market.
Yes. I would say now the market have shifted to hotel managed residences.
Mm-hmm.
So these are residential projects that are managed by a hotel brand such as Accord or Radisson
Mm-hmm.
or Marriott. So this is actually the future for foreign investors, because this allows them to enter a buy-to-let environment, and Bangkok never has been a buy-to-let environment.
Mm-hmm.
These projects are not in Phuket, not in Bangkok, by the way. They're all in Phuket,
Mm-hmm.
more coastal areas of Thailand. I think this is where the future goes to, because why I say this, there are now two developers in the CBD that are implementing hotel managed condominiums.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know the demand is there. People want to buy as an investment, many of them. And you can only secure my investment if you have a reputable hospitality brand behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So hotel managed residences, I think, is definitely something I invest in myself as well, because it secures me. Many of the agreements are signed either in Singapore with the hotel group or here with the Worldwide Hotel Group. And they start around 250,000 US dollar.
Uh-huh.
But it's a no-brainer. We're talking about M Gallery. We about Sofitel, we're talking about Radisson, we're talking about Marriott, we're talking about brands that everybody knows.
Yeah.
If I would be proud to say, hey, listen, I bought a condominium in Phuket and it's managed by the Accord.
Yeah.
And everybody say, oh my God, Accord? Yeah, it's Gallery. Or yes, I bought a unit at the Radisson and I own the unit. So these are all freehold properties that can be
and those
beneficial.
And those are short-term rentals, or is that really?
So because they apply a hotel management agreement, it allows them to operate like a hotel, as a commercial condominium.
Yeah.
And yes, you get your 3 to 4 to 5 weeks free stay a year. You become a platinum member of that hotel brand. So it has many more benefits, and of course, on a period periodical basis, you will get your rental income. As an investor.
How much can you expect to get like an ROI on an annual basis?
If you look at the brand positioning, so many of the brands are now going into a 4 to 5 star range.
Mm-hmm.
I realistically say with the tourism influx in Thailand, which is super positive for the past 3 years, and we are in the top 3 most visited countries in the world. I would say 4 to 5% annual rental income.
Net, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, okay. And this is this is starting at around like 250k.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, US dollar. Yeah.
Okay. Nice, interesting. Anything else you would like to share with the audience?
Please come to Thailand. It's very diverse. Thailand is one of the countries in Asia. If you go to the north, Chiang Mai, if you go during the winter season, the rainy season, it's quite chill. 15 degrees, 18 degrees. If you go to Bangkok City, yes, you have 30, 35 metropolitan area. We have mountains, we have beaches. It's such a diverse country. You will never get bored in Thailand. If you like the beach, stay at the beach. You like the mountains, go to the mountains. You like the city, go to the city. And international cuisine. I mean, I'm a foodie myself. The Michelin guide has been published here. I mean, you can really, really find whatever you like. We have the best cocktail bars, rooftops, enjoyment for family, water parks. It's great hospitality.
So it doesn't sound like it's very likely that you're gonna move back to Europe soon.
No, I hope not. I have a family here, and I do hope to stay here for many more years. And of course, my aim is to make this my end destination. That has always been like that. That's why I'm here for 8 years already.
Great.
And I'm looking at like how the progress is. Yes, most probably I will be here in my old days. Yeah.
Great. How can people contact you if they want to reach out to you concerning real estate or any normal, even personal advice, saying, okay, hey, give me an advice. I have a question about Bangkok or about Thailand.
Yeah, I do contribute frequently in the newspaper and on real estate websites where I talk about the market, so they can learn in an objective way. They can learn about the market situation. I'm happy to share my email, my phone number with Hello Casa, and they can contact me anytime for some independent advice. I never get my personal feelings mixed in the advice. That's very important also, because then you get a bias, and it's not fair for the customer. I'm more than happy. Everybody welcome anytime. By the way, my company runs 24/7. I have teams in China, I have teams in India, I have teams in Hong Kong. So we work on a global platform, and I even have my guys in Manchester. So wow. It really goes around.
That's amazing.
We try to answer as fast as possible.
24/7.
So yes, yeah.
Great. Yeah, I'll put the details in the description, and I'll share that with the audience. Great, Marciano. I don't have any more questions. I think it was a great interview and very in-depth interview. I say that we talk soon, and I thank you so much for your time for giving us the interview and the very detailed understanding of Bangkok and Thailand.
Thank you, Michael, for inviting me today, and I hope maybe we can do a follow-up session in the near future.
Absolutely.
With a Q&A, perhaps a Q&A from Hello Casa.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you very much.
Marciano, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you.